Hello, hello, welcome. We're just getting started here, letting technology catch up. Going over here, pop up Facebook. When you're jumping on, say hello, where you're from, how you're doing. And if you're catching the replay, hit hashtag replay. Facebook on my phone. Okay, we are live. Replay, hit hashtag replay. Great. Let me pull up the comments on my phone. All right. Welcome, welcome. We're going to give just a minute or two for other people to jump on. If you're jumping on late, no worries. For those of you just joining us, go ahead and say hello, how you're doing, where you're from, where you're tuning in from. All right, so we're going to get started. And all right, so welcome. Today is day one of our Heartbreak and Souls evolution. So how heartbreak can assist in our soul's evolution. And I'm super, super excited to be here and what has come forward to assist in this class and your healing. Last time we talked about the masterclass that I ran, I talked a lot about what happens to us during heartbreak, kind of from an energetic perspective. And so today we're going to dive into what do we do about it? And we'll be talking about some tools, how we can utilize this heartbreak to assist in our soul's evolution. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Morgan, and I'm a Akashic Records practitioner and healer. And I use the records primarily to assist others in mending a broken heart. They are super, super powerful, and the records can assist us in so many different directions. For those of you who are not familiar with the Akashic Records, they are an energetic realm of infinite possibility, and every word, deed, thought, and action from the inception of your soul is recorded there. So we can access the records and ask the guardians of your records for assistance in any and all areas of your life. And this is particularly helpful and supportive through heartbreak. If you are in the midst of heartbreak, if you are in the wake of heartbreak, any life event that has altered or shattered or changed your course of normal and life can, be classified as heartbreak. It is not exclusive to getting divorced, breaking out of a relationship, going through a breakup. Heartbreak can look and feel many, many different ways. And every heartbreak is unique to every single one of us, as well as how we heal from it. So it is super important to know that this is an individual journey and an individual process. So let's dive into what do we do when we suffer a life event. We go through it. We definitely want to heal, and we want to be well. We want to feel better. And so we need to go through the process of healing. As much as we want to jump and maybe get over it, get through it, be done with it, we really want to go through it in order to assist in our soul's evolution. I'm just going to check one setting here on Zoom. Something is acting a little bit funny, so give me just a second to make sure everyone can pop in here. Let me just see. Okay, perfect. Sorry for the delay. We're having technical issues here. Okay. Yeah, that all looks great. So we will keep going. All right. Yes, heartbreak is so unique to all of us and is the healing process. So there are two types of healing. There's surface level and there's deep healing. And surface level is still healing, and it can help us feel good right away. But it lacks the ability to assist in the evolution in the way that our soul desires, meaning we might not heal specifically what we needed out of whatever situation or event occurred that will cause it to repeat itself again until our soul picks up the lesson that it signed up for. Surface level healing can look like setting intentions, writing affirmations, using different cycles of the moon to assist us in those affirmations and those intentions, accessing different portals. We're very familiar with the Lion's Gate, 1111, things like that. When we have these sort of universal energies on our side, we can use those. And whereas those can be very deep and profound, if we are staying up here at the surface with what our intentions are and what we're ready to let go of without really diving under and doing that deep, deep soul work, it's not going to assist in our evolution as much as that deep, deep level. And so a deep level is considered that soul level healing. And that is where we really dive under. This is where the Akashic records come in to assist us. And we can look and see what habits, patterns, outdated stories, old traumas are entangled or enmeshed with whatever life event led us to feeling heartbroken. And when we're able to do that, we can see things that we might not be aware of. These patterns, habits, and traumas can be in the unconscious. They can be unknown or unseen to us because we aren't able to fully look at them. And by doing that, we're supporting our soul. Every single one of our souls has signed up to evolve. And we cannot control how things have transpired, but we can change how things unfold. No, we do not need to experience trauma in order to evolve. Again, if you've gone through a traumatic event, if you've gone through sort of this trauma growth pattern, you can recognize that, acknowledge that, and say, you know what? No more for me. I'm done with this. I'm choosing to evolve in a different direction. So we can change how things do unfold from this point going forward. So in terms of healing, healing is not linear. And by that, I mean, we don't have a trauma, experience a life event, experience a heartbreak, we heal and it's done and we go forward, then we're able to have the things that we want. It doesn't work like that because you're never really done with something. And don't worry, that is not like a terrifying way to look at it. And we are done with an aspect of a situation, of event, and a trauma, and then we're able to go deeper. A lot of people have heard the onion metaphor where there are layers and layers, and it's true. And what has really come forward to me and the message that showed up to me this week, and it is so, so beautiful. And I wish I knew it when I was in the midst of feeling overwhelmed and wanting to know where to go, what to do, is that healing is a spiral staircase, right? So we are on this spiral staircase. And so as it's going around, it's going up. And so when we are really, really close to the life event, the trauma, we are very tied to this grief, this suffering, this pain, this fear, this overwhelm, and we are at the bottom rung. And when we're at the bottom rung, it can be very, very overwhelming. We can think ourselves in circles. It's emotionally overwhelming because we cannot see anything other than what we're tied to at the moment. And we're in this state, your nervous system cannot regulate. And this circular form allows us to have these different zones, right? So you might have one area where you're very, very tied to the bottom rung, and we are multidimensional beings. And so we have these other aspects that we're continuing to healing at various points of our life. Let me give you some examples. So imagine you're on a spiral staircase. And for me, like over here, one of these lifelong zones that I have been working on since my 20s, I had a very, very traumatic episode where I had a very big health issue, a health crisis. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and it was a very intense and a very debilitating case of MS. And so back in my 20s, that was like full on. I was bottom rung, tied to that fear, that pain, that suffering, that grief, that, oh my God, what is happening to my world? Still in my corner is the divorce that I went through, and this breakup, this relationship, and this family that has left me a single mom in a foreign country. And there's a lot of things that have been left in the wake with that, including my own family relationship back in the US as I'm still here. And so that's in one area. And then I have other area. I've had 3 back surgeries in my life. Again, in my 20s, I had 2. And the last one was 5 years ago, 4 months after the birth of my first son. And so I'm at very different points with all of these categories. And I give these very different examples so you can see they don't necessarily all have to be the same. Brokenheartedness does not all have to look the same. And chances are for us, we've all experienced heartbreak in different ways throughout our entire life. So as I'm going through and something comes up around my family connection or my divorce, it's going to feel way more intense than anything that comes up around my MS, because I have taken so many layers off of that in the amount of time that I have spent healing that. And so as we're going around this circle, we are going up this staircase and we are up leveling. We are evolving, and we are ascending to a different level. And as we're doing this, we are learning very deep lessons that our soul has wanted us to learn, that our soul signed up for. And so maybe I took this next really raw layer off from my divorce and I'm moving along. Things are feeling pretty great. And then something comes up that is triggering in my back pain. And I'm like, wait a minute, I need to get really curious and look about that. And that just shows me where I'm at in this spiral. You may have 3 things, you may have 5 things, you may have 2 things, and don't feel like you need to do them all at once, because again, that can be really overwhelming. Why I'm pointing out that there are multiple aspects of our staircase is because they can support one another. Some very deep-seated patterns in my back pain helped to relieve some really deep-seated familial and ancestral patterns associated with my MS. And those were able to assist me in healing through how those patterns move forward and manifested through a relationship that turned out to be not so supportive and not evolving with me, that resulted in a divorce. And so there is a through line. There can be common threads, and the Akashic records are really, really powerful for pulling out these threads. And so again, we can be at different levels at the same time. And so this is how we use this staircase, this spiral staircase, to heal, and how to use it. So when we are able to heal, we are able to step up a rung. And when we're at this space of feeling overwhelmed, feeling maybe stuck, maybe you have no idea what is happening, it's really time to get curious and look about one pattern, a loop that we're stuck in, an outdated story, or an old trauma that is keeping us with this rung in front of our face, like tied to the bottom rung, tied to these really raw emotions. And when we're able to pull off one of those aspects, then we're able to step up to this next level. And as we integrate, things are going to feel differently. Things are going to feel okay sometimes. And you're going to gain some new perspectives. You're going to gain some space. You're going to alleviate yourself from the stress, from the trauma, from some pain, from some grief. And again, these come off in little layers. So let me know if this is resonating with you. It's really helpful to understand that healing comes in small steps, small layers. If we can pause and zoom out and allow ourselves to disconnect from the expectation that healing is going to happen, and then there is a before and after, we can let ourselves go of this, I should be here. I should not be like this any longer. I should be ready to let go, ready to move forward. We can keep ourselves very tied to this bottom rung with the should be's because we have expectations or external conditioning, external influences that step in and influence our perspective on how healing looks. So as I mentioned, you can use other categories to assist you in areas that are too raw to look at. So if you've had a fresh heartbreak, if you are contemplating a breakup, if you are contemplating a divorce, if you've gone through a divorce, if you've had a loss of a very dear loved one, it can be too raw to look at that. So sometimes the way in to begin alleviating some of that rawness is through one of these categories. So we want to go back or go to the side. We want to look at a different area of how we can assist ourselves in this current moment without going direct to the raw, sore, sensitive point. Let me give you an example of how it can show up for us too. As I went through my divorce and it was determined I needed to live here in Portugal by the Portuguese legal system. That was a really, really big moment in my life. And I've made peace with that and I've moved forward, but there are still levels that needed to come off. And I was not aware that there was another level ready to go. And it was a very raw one because I was not looking at it. And so I had about a month ago, I had some fraud show up on my bank account, which was super frustrating. It wasn't a very large amount, but it's super annoying. Having your money taken from you is really, really infuriating. And for me, it was so violating. And I got really curious why I got so mad and felt so violated. And I felt so many things come up that seemed out of proportion for having this small fraud activity on my account. And what happened was, by looking underneath, it revealed some trauma was ready to heal around my family relationship associated with my being court ordered to live in Portugal. So my family back in the US and how that played out. And it was a really, really raw layer, but I was able to heal it because it came up without me having to look directly at it. It kind of came in through the side about this happening of this other thing. And I was able to use the Akashic records to get really curious and ask some questions about what happened around this, fraud on my bank account and what was really underneath it. So I want to talk some tools about how you can use heartbreak to assist you in your soul's evolution, how you can assist yourself walking up this staircase of healing through the midst or after, in the wake of heartbreak. First of all, it is so important to remind yourself you are safe. When you're thinking about your staircase, when you're thinking about your trauma, when you're in the midst of feeling your feelings around heartbreak, remind yourself you are safe. And you can make that a mantra. I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. You can call in whatever protection you need. You can make it whatever practice is necessary and helpful for you, because the more that you can remind yourself that you're safe, that staircase is not going to be so intimidating. You're going to allow yourself to see that it is only the next step, only the next layer, level, pattern, energy that's ready to go that you need to tackle, that you need to manage, that you're needing to work with, that you are ready to work with. Keeping yourself reminded constantly that you're safe diffuses that need for us to want to figure out the entire solution of how we're going to heal, the entire answer, all of our questions about what's going to happen in X, Y, Z, in my relationship, through my divorce, with my kids, after my partner has passed away, after I lost this very big aspect of my life. And when we can rewind ourselves back into ourselves a little bit and collect ourselves, gather ourselves, feeling more whole and able to look at just that next little step, we're going to have more energy to do it. The next tool is to ask, and this was my mantra. I had not known the staircase when I was contemplating going through a divorce. But all things show up when you're ready. And so this mantra presented itself to me, and this is how I got through. I would ask for the next step to be revealed to me in a way that I can see and understand and have the courage to take. So ask the next step to be revealed in a way that you can see and understand, and the next step is that you have the courage to take. And those three aspects were so important because it allowed me to know, okay, this is a doable step for me. It's within my limits of bravery. I am asking Spirit to show me in a way I can see and understand. And so that was my way to get very clear on what my next step was. And you can get really specific. So imagine you're stuck in overwhelm, or you're stuck in anxiety, or you're stuck in grief. You can ask for the next step to be revealed to assist you in alleviating your overwhelm, anxiety, grief, whatever emotion that you're feeling, to be revealed in a way that you can see and understand, and that you have the courage to take. And so by asking for these steps to show up in a way that is really supportive and very safe for you, when those signs show up, when those steps show up, say yes. This is you acknowledging you're going to say yes to yourself when these things show up. And Spirit will continue to provide the next step for you in a very manageable way. When we're asking for steps in this manner, and we're reminding ourselves constantly that we're safe, it allows us to be in control of the speed. It allows us to, and I'm putting in control in quotation marks because it gives us the sense that we are in control. One of the things that happens through the midst or the wake of heartbreak is we feel very, very out of control. And so this allows us to step back in as that role of creator of how things are unfolding, right? We are asking for it in a very specific speed. It also continues to support and reinforce that asking to be safe. And so it allows us to feel very, very safe. It also assists in our healing. We are taking the next step or the next baby step. And it is 100% okay to take micro steps when you are going through healing and we're tied to that first rung of grief and pain and trauma. Those micro steps, baby steps, are what is going to get us through in a different and a whole and complete fashion. We have to trust that what is showing up is what we need and ready to heal. And that also means we have to let go of, when we are asking for those signs to show up in the next way, we are letting go of how they show up and what those signs are pointing to. They are giving us this next step, and we are choosing to put our trust in spirit, that in the universe, in the healing process, in the spiral staircase, that what is showing up next is what is ready to heal. It may not be the grief, the anxiety that you thought it was, but maybe the next step supports you in a different way you hadn't thought of, and it allows that overwhelm, that anxiety, that grief to be lessened. And it was maybe an area that you had not considered. So by healing what is ready to surface, and this is super important, you will gain clarity, peace, and more confidence to understand what the next step in your journey is. Trust and confidence also need to be very nurtured through the process of mending a broken heart. And this process of trust starts with yourself. And so when you're working and asking for signs and steps are showing up, you are trusting the process. You are trusting in what you're putting out and what is coming back. And it will give you some clarity. As I mentioned before, it can be a big Gordian knot. We can think ourselves into circles trying to figure out all of the answers, or knowing the entire details of how things are playing out. And when we allow ourselves just that next step, we are allowing clarity to come back in, which is something we may have been missing for quite some time in this sort of confusion of heartbreak. And so knowing the next step on your journey also gives you that feeling of safety, that feeling of being supported, and that knowing you're on the right path. You are on your journey to evolve. You are in your journey to heal, and it is happening. It is allowing you to start taking baby steps up that spiral staircase. Never, ever underestimate the power of one pattern, one old, outdated story, one bit of old energy that is no longer serving you. One thing that you do in order to support your healing, one session that you complete with a practitioner or with whatever modality you choose, can provide immediate relief. And immediate relief is really important. So one thing that you are doing to unloosen those ties, unties those ties to grief, pain, sadness, to that bottom rung, is so powerful. Opportunity for new perspective can present itself when you are taking one step ahead, when you are taking off one layer, one level, when you are working to untie yourself to that bottom rung, new perspective can come in to present yourself. When we are so caught up in trying to figure it all in, our perspective can be very much like this. We can get tunnel vision. And so we might not see a way through. We might not see something because we are so tied to this bottom rung of where we're at. And so beginning to heal, new perspectives can come in, and we're able to look at something we may not have seen before, or we're just not ready to see. And having that come in, those perspectives come in, are super, super powerful and really important for healing. So remember to remind yourself that you're safe. Ask for steps, the next step that shows up in a way that you can see and understand, and that you have the courage to take. And again, if you want to get real specific about like a step for a particular emotion, lessening anxiety or overwhelm or grief, you're absolutely able to do that. And then the next important part is when it shows up, to say yes to whatever opportunity arises, whatever reveals itself to assist you in healing. Take that opportunity, and you're going to begin to healing and mending your broken heart. And so one step at a time is how all journeys are accomplished. And remind yourself of this. There are no steps too small, baby steps, micro steps, half steps, anything where you are putting momentum, movement, energy, perspective forward is going to what adds up to your healing journey. And so think of yourself on your spiral staircase in whatever way. I want you to just think about the rung, the next step in front of you. If you have questions, you can pop them on in the chat box. I'm going to look at Facebook to see if there's anything going on there. Any comments, let me know. Great. So if you have questions, pop them in. I'm going to move us into our healing. And we're going to work with our staircase in today's healing. And we're going to work with our staircase in tomorrow's class as well. And it's going to be super exciting. I'm very, very excited. So if you're driving or operating heavy machinery, you can go ahead and come back to the healing and the meditation later when you're in a place to do so safely. Oftentimes people can go into a meditative state or trance-like state, and it's just not safe to be driving or operating heavy machinery. So make sure you're in a safe and comfortable place. You can listen to this sitting up, and I'm hearing for some of you might want to lay down. So get yourself to whatever position you are comfortable in. And go ahead and just close your eyes. And I'm going to just shut my camera off so you can just listen to the sound of my voice and not be distracted by video. So go ahead and close your eyes and drop down into your heart space. And as you breathe in and breathe out, just take a really comfortable seat in the sacred nectar of your soul. And from up above, you're going to notice a big ball of crystalline energy representing the great I Am. This big ball of energy is soft. It's like almost cotton-like. And it's super, super airy. And it's just going to start to like fall down like little clouds, almost in this cotton-like cloud. And it's going to work its way down, and just sort of these clouds are going to wrap itself all around and into your crown chakra, into your head. It's going to gently breeze through your third eye, through your face, into your throat chakra. Be working your way through your energy field. These clouds are just going to float down through your torso, through your heart chakra. They're going to kind of wrap themselves around your sacred heart, giving them a nice, gentle hug. Going to wash their way, float their way through your heart space. You might even see them floating past you. It's going to be the perfect temperature. Might be white, they might be blue. Some might be yellow or pink. Whatever color is showing up, allow them to continue to float through your body. They're going to work their way all through your solar plexus chakra, your sacral chakra, and your root chakra. And work their way down your legs, down your feet, and to the tips of your toes. And when they reach the tips of your toes, your grounding roots are going to activate. And these roots are going to work their way through every layer of the earth's crust, slowly, gently, but powerfully making their way all the way to the molten core, where they're going to connect with Gaia's heart chakra. And Mother Earth and creation are going to send up a beautiful crystalline elixir to assist you in today's healing. This elixir is this beautiful iridescent. And as these iridescent crystalline energies start to work their way up the roots, you might feel them entering and tickling your toes, up through your feet, up through your legs, all the way up your pelvis, into your bottom 3 chakras. And they're going to work its way into your heart space, where it's going to mix with the great I am energies. And when the energies mix, they're going to activate and form a beautiful Merkaba diamond all around you. And this diamond is going to be clear and iridescent. And this diamond is going to be giant and life-size. This diamond is going to begin to spin gently, spinning all around you. And as it spins, you're going to notice energy spinning from each of the 4 corners coming in to support you. And the guides, the highest vibration and light, animals, plant medicine, guardians of the galaxy, guardians of the record, the elementals, and any other energies that want to come in are coming in from the east, from the south, from the west, and from the north. And as you're being held in this sacred space, knowing that you're connected and protected, 360 degrees all around, as above, so below. And as this diamond continues to spin, it's going to lift off the bottom of your heart space. It's going to carry you across all space and time. And it's going to land in a very, very sacred space. And when this diamond lands and opens, you're going to notice, sense, feel, or see a spiral staircase. And I want you to just take note of the staircase. What color is it? What does it look like? What shape is it in? What rung are you on? Are you even on the staircase? Is there a staircase below you or above you? And I want you to just take note with no judgment, just observe all of these things going on with this staircase. And as you're observing, you're going to notice wherever you're standing, whether it be on a rung, at the base, near it, if it's off in the distance, you're going to notice in front of you one in front of you, one to either side, 3 doors. And the doors are going to have the number 1, another door number 2, and the last door number 3. And they might not be in any particular order. Just take note. And wherever door number 1 is, I want you to turn and face door number 1. And you're going to walk up to the door and you're just going to place your hand on the door. And you can get a sense of what door number 1 feels like, how you feel touching the door, what's happening for you. And reminding yourself that you're very, very safe. Your energy is going to unlock door number 1. And you're going to step in to the door. And when you're inside, again, remind yourself you're so safe. And you're just going to observe, how does it feel to be working in door number 1? Is this an area that you would like to stay and understand more about? Do you want to run out of door number 1? Does door number 1 make you feel sad or happy? Does it feel old? Does it feel raw or new? And just observe all of the things coming up for you in door 1. And if you're having a hard time being in there, you can reach down in your pocket and you're going to notice a powerful crystal and a lighter. And you can flick the lighter if it's dark in door number 1 and hold that powerful crystal, and it will illuminate the room, providing you, connecting you with extra safety. And take your time. And when you're done observing everything that you want to observe in door number 1, you're going to step back out through the doorway, and door number 1 will close. Now you can turn and face door number 2, wherever it is appearing for you. And you're going to walk up to the door and place your hand on the door. Again, just observing, noticing how the door feels, what happens inside of you. And when you're ready, reminding yourself you are safe, you're going to open door number 2 and step inside. And as you step inside door number 2, just take note and observe what's happening in this area for you. Is this a place you want to stay and work on and heal from? Is this a place you don't want to look at? Again, whatever it is, no judgment. You still have your crystal, you have your light. Remind yourself you are safe and observe. And when you've observed everything you need to know, step out of door number 2 and it will close behind you. And now you can turn to whatever direction and walk up to door number 3. You're going to place your hand on the 3rd door and observe, knowing you are safe. It is safe to explore. Noticing how door number 3 feels and what happens inside of you. Just observe. When you are ready, your energy is going to unlock door number 3, and you'll walk through to the other side. Again, just observing, taking note. How does this area feel for you to be working on healing in? What comes up for you? Are you scared? Are you sad? Are you overwhelmed? Again, tell yourself it is safe to observe and to notice. And you have your crystal and your light should you need. And when you're done observing, go ahead and step out of door number 3, and it'll close behind you. Standing in front, you will see the 3 doors, one on either side and one in front of you. And these are 3 areas of your life that are part of your spiral staircase. And you can choose today what area you would like to go in and work from, trusting that whatever you decide is what is showing up as ready to be healed today. Trusting that what is showing up to be healed today will provide you with clarity, healing, and confidence to take the next step. Also knowing you'll have other chances to go back and work in whatever 2 doors you did not choose today. So you can turn and face the door you decide, and you can just swipe the other 2 doors away. And I invite you to walk up to the door you chose and put your hand back on the door. Your energy will open and you're going to step inside. And just observe and notice, see what is going on around you and within you. And as you do this, you're going to notice in front of you a crystalline table. And I invite you to walk over to the crystalline table, and you can sit upon it, you can lie down on it, whatever feels right and true for you today in this moment. And when you lie down on the crystalline table, it is going to activate. It's going to send up crystalline energy from the table into your body. You're going to feel it working its way through your energy field. It's going to go into your nervous system, into your bones, into your brain, this beautiful crystalline energy. Calcite's coming in, which is a heart mending stone. You have selenite coming in, and it's going to start scrubbing clean the residue associated with this layer that's ready to come off. Amethyst is coming in, black tourmaline, chrysocolla, rhodonite. It's okay if you don't know what these energies are, what they look like. Allow them to just work their beautiful magic. And as you're on this table, receiving this crystalline energy, scrubbing this energy clean, you might notice, sense, or feel the masters, teachers, and loved ones gathering around you, gently assisting in pulling this energy that is ready to go, this next tiny layer. It may feel big and overwhelming, but from an energetic point of view, the layer is thin and it's just sort of peeling off like a molting snake skin. And they're just assisting and removing this old energy that you are ready to heal and let go of today. And as they're doing this, as this is peeling from your head to your toe, through all of your energy fields, you can go ahead and begin to invite in the energies you would like to replace, bringing in unconditional love, peace, clarity, harmony, joy. They will be assisting you in bringing in these new love frequencies. They will be bringing in frequencies that are right and true for you and allowing you to call in what it is you desire. When this is complete, the guardians will have a message for you around what was healed. They will have a message of clarity for you for today. Go ahead and receive that now. And as this healing is coming to a complete and you've received your message, when you are ready, make your way up off the table. And you're going to step back to the other side of whatever door that you chose. And you're going to find yourself back on your staircase. And I want you to take note. What does your staircase look like? Has it changed color? Are you in a different place? How's the condition of your staircase? How do you feel on your staircase? Taking this all in. You're going to notice around you that beautiful iridescent energy is forming. It's forming a beautiful sphere, carrying your messages from your guardians. The sphere is going to spin. It's going to pick you up off your staircase, your beautiful spiral staircase, carry you back across all space and time, where you're going to land in the bottom of your heart space. Taking your time to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and making your way back to this reality. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. How was that? Very beautiful. As you're coming back, let me know how that felt for you. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can take your next step if that was healing and helpful for you, going deeper. So the Akashic records can assist us in going much deeper to heal and untether us from that bottom rung, so to speak. And I'll be talking more about in depth of the Akashic Records, ways that we can work together on day 3. Excuse me, that's Friday. But I want to mention that, again, that power of one. I've been very guided to create something that I'm absolutely in love with and that I'm so passionate about. And it is just a one-on-one, one Akashic Record coaching and healing session. And so in this one session, it's a 90-minute, we go really, really, really deep. And we use the records to identify what and heal what needs to come up. Is it a loop, a pattern, any old traumas, whatever is ready to come up? We are going to lift that up in this one-on-one session. I've included some bonus like activation and a personalized divine love activation, which will be a mantra from the Akashic Records to reinforce this deep, deep healing. And when you continue to use this mantra or this affirmation, it will continue to rewire that aspect of your brain and continue to allow you and assist you in moving up that spiral staircase, and doing this one step at a time. And so this one-time offer, I'm going to pop in the chat box, is right now it is $222, but you can use the coupon code for anyone who has watched this masterclass. You're going to get, oops, did I just paste that twice? I did. An extra 25 off. So that'll bring it down to $197. So I'm offering an extra $25 off. I've been guided to give even more of a discount for anyone who comes in through the masterclass. And again, if you would like to go deeper and want to talk about how that might look for you, I also am offering free discovery calls. Anyone who is on a discovery call, I will give you a free 20-minute reading where you can get some question answered. So if you have very specific questions tied to your situation, about how you can move up this spiral staircase, how your personal heartbreak can assist in your personal soul's evolution, I will open your records and give you a reading where you can have a conversation with your masters, teachers, and loved ones. And then we can talk about ways that the Akashic Records can assist. So I hope that today's healing and today's class was helpful for you. Thank you all for showing up. I am so honored to be here. And I just am wishing you all a very, very beautiful day. Much love and light to you all. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 2. We're going to talk about ourself, the before, during, and after versions of ourself through heartbreak, and how the spiral staircase can assist us in understanding and healing those aspects of ourselves. So wishing you a beautiful day, and I will see you in tomorrow's class.